Hello, it's Brennan Wissinger again, and today we're going to be talking about COVID-19. It's affected everybody, and me, it's college is canceled, and a lot of things have changed, and I think it has for everybody. So today we are going to talk about this, and I'm going to tell you what we should be doing policy-wise to deal with COVID-19, and how we can help small businesses, how we can help small businesses, how we can help people put food on the table, how we can solve the farmers not being able to distribute food properly, and how we can um, bring down the deaths in coronavirus and contain this virus altogether. And we can do that. We can do that. So, here it comes. So, COVID-19 response. So currently there are 3,000 people dying a day. That is a 9/11 a day. There are currently over 90,000 dead. That's a whole lot of deads. 90,000 dead. Reopening also sees a spike in deaths. And you can see the U.S. is the highest rate of any country. It's ridiculous. So economic problems, supply chain problems. So we're having this problem supply chain. Supply chain, some people on one end of the supply chain, like this is one why farmers are dumping stuff is because of supply chain problems. One of them, they're having too much stuff on, or one, they just don't have the stuff. The middleman, the um, the packaging companies and the distribution companies and stuff. There's not enough of that to deal with the. There are a lot of them have been gone sick, they're laid off, they're not working at full capacity, and can't take the intake of the farmers and can't put out the output needed. So that's the reason why supply chains are breaking down. So millions are unemployed. In fact, more unemployed right now than, or there are at least 20 million unemployed in the U.S. right now. Bigger, almost, which is going to be pretty big. This is pretty big, almost bigger than the Great Depression, if not bigger than the Great Depression right now. Business owners have lost income. So business owners can't run their businesses, so they're losing income. They have to still pay expenses, but don't have any income coming in. And there's other problems as well. Renters can't pay rent because they're not getting income. They have problems being laid off. They have problems in other ways too, with in people not having health insurance. It's another problem. Um, you know, economic losses from people dying. That's another thing. People or essential workers not having enough paid sick leave or other problems. Sorry, I'm tired. So you got all this stuff going on, and unemployed people are unemployed because their businesses have stopped running and all of this other stuff. So you have a big amount of problems here. So why reopening is bad? So reopening will cause more people to die from the virus to spread. And we also have other options. Reopening won't solve all the economic problems because some of the problems are caused from the pandemic itself. If you look here on this graph, it's Texas. When they reopen, the death rate continues to go back up again. So, essential workers, not enough pay. It's one problem. Sick leave, there's not enough sick leave. Losing health insurance from being sick. Pandemic affects everyone and everyone's sources of income negatively. So here's some solutions. Canada is giving every Canadian citizen a $2,000 check per month. That is a great idea. That's something we should do. Give essential workers a supplemental income to help them pay for when they are sick, and also to help them supplement their income so they're able to afford things, and they're also to pay for when they're sick. They're and that sort of thing. Expand health insurance coverage and give more funding to health insurance coverage. So expand health insurance coverage because currently there's not enough of that. I'm going to get more into that later. And give more funding to expand the ACA, or expand the funding for ACA, which Trump is going to not want to do. But anyways, there's that. Unemployed. Then Trump is also currently blocking any aid to Michigan and purple or blue states, like my own state of Pennsylvania. So I don't know if he's blocking it there, but if he's blocking it for Michigan, I'm pretty sure he would be blocking it from Pennsylvania. Yeah. Unemployed. The amount of people unemployed has gone up by 20 million people. Many states' unemployment funds are running dry. The answer: give more funds to states for their unemployment funds. That would fix the problem. So small businesses can't afford upkeep because of a loss of business and service. They've had to close because of coronavirus and social distancing, central business orders and all that. They've had to, many business owners can't afford to pay bills. Many business owners can't afford to pay employees. The answer is to subsidize both small businesses and payroll and otherwise, and limit business under a certain income. Also, businesses are losing income because people don't want to go out and do stuff. So yeah, so subsidize small business and payroll and otherwise, and limit businesses under a certain income. Because so far, what we've had is we've given funding to small businesses, but we haven't had income or revenue restrictions. So the big corporations took all of it. Because their establishment is all for big business. Get back to where it's going. So those fall through the cracks. So defer tax payments, defer student loan payments. Also, that $2,000 a month thing would also help. Make sure all dependents get checks. I'm a dependent and college student over 18, so I didn't get a check. Temporarily expanding the social safety net and healthcare, Medicaid, food stamps, WIC, and other services. So enacting Medicare for all, or some type of universal healthcare. If you look at this map, all the countries in green have universal healthcare. Let it sink in for a second. All the countries in green. Including Mexico, Algeria, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, China, Argentina, Chile, Brazil. I don't know how good some of these countries' healthcare systems are. Universal healthcare systems are. Some of them are probably pretty crappy, but they all have universal healthcare on paper. Why don't we? Okay. Not necessarily Medicare for all, though most of them that have that are European. Or Japan or Taiwan or South Korea. But currently under the current system, we're paying for a universal health care system, but not getting that out of it. So that's, Mitch McConnell has basically said he doesn't want to help people and wants the states to go bankrupt. He's basically said he wants states to go bankrupt, which would ruin our economy even more, because he doesn't want the states to get into debt. And I'm going to explain why this stuff about national debt and why it doesn't matter as much as everybody thinks it does in another episode. So there you go. Another stupid idiot. Enacting a new Agricultural Adjustment Act to buy farmers' products that would otherwise be dumped and resell them or given to food banks. This has already been done before during the Great Depression. It's been done a couple times since. Also, having a board do essential business orders made it have experts that know how these supply chains work. So that way we don't end up causing shortages accidentally. The use of the Defense Production Act. So this is a very important keystone in dealing with coronavirus. So the Defense Production Act is a law that allows the president to order companies to produce certain goods and allows the president to ration certain goods. Trump has applied the Defense Production Act twice throughout the whole pandemic. That's certainly not enough. On GM to produce ventilators and on meat packers to produce more meat. This act should be invoked to produce PPE, masks, medications, ventilators, especially testing kits, equipment, and supplies. The act should also ration essentials, should ration essential goods like bread, milk, and toilet paper to ensure everyone has a supply of, toilet paper, because people were hoarding toilet paper for some reason. If Trump could just use this properly and effectively, it would solve so much. But of course, he doesn't do any of that. Of course, he just sits around and golfs and sits around and does nothing. Of course, he just sits around and does nothing and doesn't use this darn thing because he's afraid that's nationalizing business, but it's really not. Because he's a coward. He's a chicken. He's a chicken. Cock-a-doodle-doo. I am the greatest chicken there has ever been. What are we gonna do with this idiot? More heavily enforced restrictions. Now I'm doing stuff like I don't know. Essential business orders with higher fines and heavier enforcement. So I'm not, and also government shouldn't exempt religious gatherings or businesses they happen to like. Though churches should be able to do aid and charity work, but just not have religious gatherings. So yeah, we should. I'm not saying that we should make more restrictions. I'm saying that mostly that we should enforce the current ones we have. Stay-at-home orders can stay the same. Maybe enforcement on public group gatherings and requiring citizens to give a written excuse before leaving their home at the height of the lockdown of the pandemic. Implementing masking for orders that have actual fines. Yeah, so you have to wear a mask because that's, important for everybody's public health. Critically important for everybody's public health. So people, somebody else doesn't catch what you have because you don't know if you have it or not. Enforced by county, not statewide. I mean, this disease has an incubation period of 14 days. So why I'm saying enforced by county and not statewide is because different counties and within a state can be at different stages of the pandemic. So one there might not even be in one county, but it's in another county. It's nearby. It's people are dying from it left and right. So we need to have something like that. The main problem is just the lack of enforcement. So heavier checkpoints and state border checks that monitor anybody or just county line checks too. Monitor temperatures of people between counties or test them. Small community parks will close while larger parks where people are more likely to spaced out won't be. Not arrestable offenses. Provide systems to help domestic violence victims, child abuse victims get help. Provide for the mental health. So this could be checking up on people, just doing random spot checks with this. That could also help find elderly people that might be dying of this. That's a good idea. They're doing heat waves too. So putting domestic violence victims to hospital, not really checking to see, go out there and testing or requiring people to have, do whatever, but just to check up and see if everything's okay. Implementing mental health crisis hotlines. Also, other countries are doing that, so we should be doing that too. Also, implementing mental health crisis hotlines to help people with mental health. This is going to be terrible on mental health. Allowing daycares to stay open, that would also help with that. Putting the domestic violence victims in hotels, that would also help. You know, that sort of thing. So how and when to reopen? So a contact tracing should be the keystone to reopening plan. Contact tracing is trying to find whoever had the disease, track them down, whoever had the disease by, through testing, and track down whoever they were in contact with, and test them for the stop to start and quarantine whoever tests positive. So this is fully implemented very well in South Korea. And what South Korea has done is people go out and do this, and they go out and they test people, and then they upload their where they've been, just where they've been, how long they were there, and when they were there. And they upload that to an app, and then that app sends a text message to everybody in the area saying this person has gotten the disease, and have you been followed this person's route? And they should, they get the information, and then if they say then they yes, they go get tested, and then they will be quarantined. But placing infected person in hotels or hospitals so they can be watched. An app can also be used for this purpose. Like it says in here, records. So an app detects the presence of when or app records the presence of other app users in the close proximity, and when somebody tested positive, and it records whoever they've been in contact with, and it sends out a text message to them. So and this will be important because once we get the virus down low enough, the spread down low enough, this can be implemented on a large scale, and this will keep the disease from rising again. This is how we'll keep the disease from rising again and getting another wave and all that. This is how we'll stop that. So in conclusion, we can fight this virus, and we can at the same time put food on the table and help small businesses. If we got enough testing out there, we got enough, to do contract tracing. That's the big thing. If we did all that, and we had restrictions until we get this virus down, so we could do the contract tracing, and we subsidize small business and expanded unemployment, and gave people money for especially essential workers, so they could be able to put food on the table. We could do this, and we could solve this whole thing. But the only problem is our current people in office are incompetent and corrupt. That's the problem. Let's make sure we get them all out in November. Thank you for listening to me on this topic. See ya. Bye.